Investors, many clients and prospects of Oak Harvest, after watching investment content over the last few years, they say, Chris, you're very upfront about not finding much value in the vast majority of economists, politicians, strategists, and TV personalities' takes on the economy and markets versus actually running money and retirement savings for your clients. They ask, whose research do you find insightful and valuable that we might want to look into? This week's episode is just that. It's stock markets, technically speaking. So the investment team at Oak Harvest largely comes from behemoth institutional money management backgrounds. We used to have access to pretty much every piece of sell-side research we could ask for, including macro, micro, single stock analysis, and derivative research. Nowadays, selling market research has become a billion-dollar industry in its own right. Investors, as an RIA, Oak Harvest, like most others, is resource constrained, so we can't subscribe to everything. However, I want to point investors to 3 resources our team finds helpful to laying out probable forward moves in the markets. None of these resources appear weekly or daily on CNBC as CNBC contributors, which is code for we're getting paid or we're paying CNBC. None are labeled chart masters or king of bonds as a way to try to hype their opinions to others. All 3 of these strategists have been consistently right for at least 5 years. They've been right or wrong, but flexible and quick enough to reverse course and be of value when they recognize their prior views were wrong. The first one is a market cycle historian, the second, a combination cycle historian and technician, and the third, a straight-up technician and one of the funniest personalities working in the otherwise dull, personality-free industry. The first of these providers is a one-time annual fee. The second is research associated with a large bank and brokerage firm that is free when you open an account at the bank or brokerage. And the third is an institutional strategist that we keep our eyes peeled on LinkedIn and other professional networks to see what he's saying. Let's start with stock market historian Larry Williams. There's a link to his website in the description below. I really trade in his 2024 forecast fee for service. Yes, investors, we've been a paying subscriber to his service. No, we've never gotten paid to promote him or his service. You've probably seen Larry before as he's a recurring guest on Jim Cramer's Mad Money CNBC show, appearing 5 to 6 times a year. Williams has created numerous market cycle forecasting indicators, including the Williams %R, Ultimate Oscillator, and Commitment of Traders Indices reports. Mr. Williams has also won the 1987 World Cup Championship of Futures Trading from the Robbins Trading Company. There's also a link in the description below to his work at the height of the COVID-19 correction on March 17, 2020, calling for an end to the bear market and the coming significant rally. Contrary to the annual market crash is coming crowd call, or the purveyors of the end of the world doom, Mr. Williams' work is unemotional, is based on historic data and reoccurring human behavior in financial markets. Even if you don't subscribe to his 2024 forecast, keep your eyes open for TV segments for new videos of his that he releases most of the times free for you on YouTube. The second strategist I absolutely love to follow is Steve Suttmeier, who's the technical research strategist at BAC Securities, better known to us older investors as Merrill Lynch. Steve's work is for brokerage customers at BAC, and BAC has a fantastic research product and analysis. I find his work most compelling. Steve is a combination market historian and straight down the runway market technician. The historian on him uses mass resources of the bank to crunch historical data of the markets in bull markets, bear markets, economic cycles, investor sentiment cycles, market volatility cycles, and even presidential election cycles. He releases his data in a forward, timely manner to help investors look at events happening in the future rather than reporting on the past. Many of the time series I've referenced over the last 5 years have come largely from Steve's team at Merrill Lynch. Steve also has traditional chart technician skills and can present a view of the market that keeps it simple. As the saying goes, a picture is worth 1,000 words is one of our technician's best friends. That phrase and the phrase price is truth simply summarize a complicated world of being a CMT. That's a certified market technician. Finally, my third strategist, who's a must follow if one can find his research. This can be definitely challenging as he's an institutional market technician for ISI Evercore. His name, Rich Ross, chief technician at Evercore ISI. A couple of things that make Rich's work unique. First, he's been right for quite some time. Second, he's been bullish on technology stocks in the market since late 2022, and rightly so. Thirdly, while other Evercore strategists have wavered back and forth, or more highly promoted technicians like the chart master on CNBC have been consistently wrong and consistently bearish now for years, Rich has stuck with what his charts are saying and stayed bullish. No flip-flopping. And finally, Rich is one of the funniest, wittiest, driest strategists I've ever come across in 30 years of investing. For example, here's Rich's recent chart of the horribly performing Chinese stock market, the Hang Seng. This has been a horrible market for the last 2 years. It's been in a bear market. It's been a disaster, absolutely and relatively, since 2008, actually, as the Hang Seng stock market approached its 2022 lows last week, where it was make or break time. The index, the Chinese government launched a massive stimulus program trying to stimulate the economy and trying to shore up waning investor interest. They did so almost exactly where the market was at the same level 2 years ago, when, in technical jargon, it was needed to make a double bottom to have any hope of rallying. Rich's headline for the Hang Seng chart: the PBOC has a Bloomberg too, makes light of the notion that politicians in China most likely are acting and watching a chart of price action as everyone else in the world is, trying to make the decision to make their stand and defend their markets from further collapse. I do want to give props to 2 other services and 2 other technicians I follow who are definitely unique and value added. The first is Rob Slimer, Chief Technician at RBC Bank, and the second is Avi Gilbert, who leads the Elevate Wave Trader website. Both are unique in their services and approach to the markets. If you have a chance, look around, try to find the research, check them out. That's it for this week, folks. Have fun. Technically speaking, a shout out to Larry Williams, Steve Suttmeier, and Rich Ross for the resources, downplaying emotions, and in Ross's case, keeping it light and funny. We all know the investment business needs a laugh or two every once in a while. Investors, thank you for taking the time to watch, and have a blessed weekend and a fantastic new year.